the Omicron variant, Peter Collignon, the professor from the ANU, I was saying to David earlier, he's quite sanguine about where we're at. Do we need to be careful not to overreact as we head into this Christmas period?
Well, I think the danger is that people get it and they get sick. And I think we can take some sensible health measures, wearing of masks, social distancing. All these things are really important. Everybody hopes the Omicron strain is not as serious as Delta, but it's clearly very infectious and it can make you sick. And then there's the whole problem with long COVID. Obviously, people want borders to open up. Me too. That's why I'm here in Tasmania today to see our office down here. But I think we can take some sensible health measures that allow people to have their freedom, but still keep us safe. And I just warn against the kind of rush to let all restrictions go before this is before everyone's fully vaccinated and has had the booster shots. And I guess that's the worrying lessons from coming overseas, how many people are getting it and restrictions having to be put in place. So let's get the booster shots and let's keep sensible social distancing and mask wearing in place to keep it in check.
Where do you see the year wrapping up, Ben, in a political sense and as we head into 2022, this election year?
Well, I watched the Prime Minister closely today and watched his speech with you two at the Sydney Institute earlier in the week. And it's clear he's got a big theme going where he's attempting to say that Labor wants restrictions, they want more government. I'm not sure that quite works. I think people understand that we needed more government and stronger regulation and more government intervention to deal with the pandemic, and people can see the importance of government in that area, and they're not thinking that all those restrictions stay in place forever. I think big picture, where we end up at the end of the year is that Albanese's best lines are about this government being at the fag end of its life and don't endorse them to go into a second decade, and they've been around 9 years. Morrison's, watching his press conference closely today, is trying to flip that into you need the experience of his government to see you through the next stage. So I think that's where it's at. Finally, there's going to be this big battle about the potential of a hung parliament, and Morrison's keen to kind of say that you're going to end up with a Labor-Greens coalition. On the other hand, a lot of people are going to point to Barnaby Joyce as the real problem for Scott Morrison and his coalition government. I'll give you an example. You're not going to see much of Barnaby Joyce in Sydney or Melbourne or Adelaide, where he's a big vote loser.
Ben Oquist live from Hobart. Thank you. David Gazzard, great to see you as well. And thanks, gents, for your contributions throughout this year. Merry Christmas to you both, and I look forward to chatting again in this election year coming.
And to you, and
thanks for having us through the year.
It's been good.
Yeah.
Correct.
Absolutely.
See you, David, and you, Kieran.
See you.
The bottom 20% get nothing. They're really unfair tax cuts.
People want to see much stronger action from the government when it comes to climate change.
It's no coincidence that we have a wages crisis in Australia.
Transitioning to net zero emissions, it doesn't seem like there's much room for gas.